Hello, it's Steve Woodall here again. As well as the forests and waterfalls lower down, Lekgalameetse Nature Reserve has a large montane grassland component, which is home to some legendary butterflies. And we were fortunate on our recent Birding Africa and Greenwings tour to have along an experienced landscape photographer, Andrew Burkett from Yorkshire. This is a panoramic view looking west over the grasslands of the Downs towards the cliffs of Trubexpoort and the Bewaarkloof Mountains in the distance. Church Forest is downhill to the left. And those Downs grasslands are where we saw some good butterflies on this tour. This is the view looking south across Church Forest to the eastern face of the Wolfberg that we saw in the earlier video. In the background, the basalt plains of the Lowveld. The weather is pretty much typical for this place, clouds with intermittent sun, but it didn't stop the butterflies from flying. On the way up, we noticed large stands of a yellow flowering legume growing in the grassy areas, and it was subsequently identified on iNaturalist as Ariacema nutans. It's a species that lacks a common name despite its wide range in Africa. When we got closer, we saw that there were lots of butterflies nectaring on it. Like this female clear-spotted acrea, Stevinia aglionisi, who perched in the flower heads, opening and closing her wings. And these Mozambique silverlines, Sigaritis mozambica, of which there were several. The first we saw was a bit worn, but then a fresh female arrived, followed by a beautiful male, who showed us a little of his electric blue upper side. And Sigaritis was one of the target butterflies for the tour, so everybody was happy. And near the top, we found this low-growing herb, which looked a bit like my local Natal blue haze flower, but it had smaller, denser flower heads, and it was identified on iNaturalist as Tetrasilago willemsii, the straggling blue haze. Blue haze flowers are known butterfly magnets, and this one didn't disappoint. African paradise skippers, Abanthis paradisea, are always a joy to see on flowers. We'd seen a fresh one on wet mud earlier, but flowers are a more attractive background. And for good measure, there was a female Mozambique silverline there, and this one was happy to open their wings for the cameras. And this is the summit of Lekgalameetse. A good 4x4 or bodily endurance is essential to getting there. And the blue haze was just below this. It's a bit reminiscent of The Lord of the Rings. You half expect to see Legolas and Aragorn up there shooting arrows at wargs. Instead, we had photographers shooting cannons at butterflies. On the very top was this wandering donkey acrea, Acrea neobule, being blown around by the wind on his high perch. We found a couple of other interesting grassland species just below the peak. The pink cupreous ash blue, Icochrysops mesopus mahalocoreana, is a tiny butterfly with a long name. It has a lovely colour combination of polished copper and purplish blue. And the grassland russet, Aledes swanepoeli, is appropriate, since David Swanepoel, after whom it was named, was an early explorer of Lekgalameetse's butterflies. Remember, he was the guy who was menaced by a lion at the waterfall. Back at the bottom of the forest, we found a patch of blue porterweed, Stachycarpita jamaicensis. This is an alien invasive weed, but it's one of the most attractive nectar plants, and is found in butterfly flight houses all over the world. It was being mobbed by Pieridae, especially grass yellows and the spectacular Cambridge vagrants. This male Cambridge vagrant is enjoying the porterweed nectar. The female Cambridge vagrants aren't blue like the males. They're either white or white and yellow like this form Sinullata, which he managed to photograph in flight. In the lower part of Lekgalameetse, where the forest meets the low-felt savanna, we found skippers like this two-pip policeman, Ciliades pisistratus. We also found this rarity, the banded hopper, Platylestes picanini, which is a very fast and wary little butterfly. And Lekgalameetse is one of the few places it's regularly seen. Sadly, the reserve has lots of invasive alien plants like this cherry pie, Lantana camara. And the butterflies love the nectar and they pollinate them, but then they don't know any better. And on a hot day like this, hundreds of little blues can be seen mineralizing on the wet sand along the roads. And these are mainly black pies, Tuctentius malaena, and zebra blues, Leptotes species, but there are a few pale bubble blues, Azanus mursa, and one Hinsapiro, Xintha. You walk through this bunch and it's like snow falling upwards. Here's a close-up of a pale bubble blue sucking up mineral-laden moisture. They're called bubble blues because their caterpillars eat the leaves of thorn trees, the ones that used to be called acacia. And these Azanus butterflies are found all over Asia, where the Hindi name for such trees is bubble. The butterflies are always found near the trees, hence the name. Eriocema nutans was just as common at the bottom of the pass as it was at the summit, and this male Hinsapiro, Xintha, was having a fine time nectaring on one of the flowers. These little blues have an engaging habit of pirouetting around on the flower whilst they drink the nectar. These images are but a small sample of what can be seen in the Lekgalameetse Nature Reserve. It has a special mix of low-felt savanna, riverine forest, high-altitude cloud forests, and montane grasslands. So why not sign up for one of our tours and come and see for yourself? This is Steve Woodall saying see you soon and goodbye for now.